pressure plate. So this is a pressure plate from Why Golf. It's very cleverly designed. If I point it towards target, you'll see that the centre spikes, they're not exactly centred. There's a difference between the two. There's definitely more movement of the board now that I'm understanding it. But you can hear the strike. I mean, everything's purely compressed. Again, back to short game. If I'm keeping the weight there, starting with the weight there, maintaining that, that to me is, that's golf. Get yourself there and over here first and wind it up. And then more reps. So certainly loads more swings than there are hitting golf balls. So many people who practice just hit golf balls. The centre of the board being slightly off centre, if you like, requires more effort to get the weight through than it does to take the weight back. So it requires 60% effort to take the weight back, but 70% effort to take the weight through. So what does that do? It exaggerates the motion. So forces within the golf swing, we hear about this all the time, you know. This pressure plate, or the forces in which we apply ground force. If I apply force there, so that force is going downwards, the ground's applying a force back up to me to get me off that side. So the pressure plate is very, very clever. I think it's got huge gains in different parts of the game. Short game, for example, absolutely outstanding. But just think about this for a second. So pressure plate, if I take my address position here, okay, and I need to move, so my weight goes to the trail side, to the lead side, trail side, lead side, trail side, lead side. But in doing so, it's pressure plate, it's not where the mass is moving. So when I take the club back, in order to compress the trail side, I don't move my body over here and come away from my centre. And then I don't move the body all the way back here and come away from the centre either, because that's moving the mass of the swing or mass of the body. I'm actually wanting to be pressure or create pressure. So I can stay centred here and I can create pressure. So pressure to the right, pressure to the left. That is harder to go that way. But you can see there I'm centred. I know there's no rotation, but I'm centred. Yet I'm able to apply pressure. So I'm applying pressure to this side. So I can keep this side down, there, without having moved my body across. So that's one of the keys to the pressure plate, is understanding how the body can stay centred, swinging inside the barrel, yet the pressures can still move. So I'm not moving far off the golf ball there, but the pressures are moving. Not so much the pressure's moving, but the pressure being applied in the right place without the mass of the body moving. So ground forces and weight shift are very different. I mean, if I was to shift my weight over here, I'm probably never going to get it back over there, certainly not before impact. I'm going to get back here and then somehow move that weight back before I create contact with the golf ball. I don't think that's really going to happen if my weight shifted that far over. If the pressure's moved over, there, so I can shift the pressure there, I've not really moved the weight, so I've created different pressures, then I'm going to make contact with the golf ball first, then the ground. And that of course is resulting in a ball turf strike. So let's try this out, let's hit a few balls. What I suggest, to feel the correct pressure, it's more important to feel it through impact. Impact is where you want the pressure to be in the correct place. Regardless of the backswing, impact, if the pressure's wrong, then we're never really going to get proper strike. The byproduct of that, of course, is if on the backswing you've moved the pressure wrong, it's going to be harder to be in that position at impact. So I suggest, starting off with a pressure plate, to feel how impact should be, start off, take your address position with your weight, target side. So your pressure is on the target side, and leave it there and just chip a few balls out there. So I've got an 8-iron in my hand and I'm feeling impact here. So I'm there, weight's on the left side, staying on the lead side, and I get little chippy 8-irons, ball turf strike. There. Brilliant. So there is zero movement of pressure there at all. I've fully set myself in on the lead side and played shots from there. Now you can imagine how good this will be for short game. If I had a wedge, I have a G-force wedge here, which is a very flexible shaft. there, there, just clipping them away. Imagine that for a shorter shot, you know, even a flop shot, and I'm educating my body to keep my pressures on my lead side to play those shots. That's fantastic. Now, Why Golf, who created this, who sell this pressure plate, I'll leave a link for you so you can get a discount. They do a short game version. They do a short game version, and why not? Why wouldn't they? So for full swing, this is a tricky one for me because I keep most of my weight on my lead side. And the reason I keep most of my weight on my lead side is EUREKA Golf Swing, is to ensure I get ball turf strike. It ensures my body opens. So when I take my address position here, rather than the plate being fully on the left side, because that's impact, my pressure is 50-50. If I move this round, remember the way this is set up, is it's harder to go to the lead side than it is to the trail side. So it's easy if you're left side dominant to keep the pressure plate level on the way back and then into impact. So I'm level on the way back into impact. Other swings away from EUREKA Golf Swing would be going back, there, back, there, back, there, as you're trying to stay centred. So with a centre line in place, let me try and get this lined up with the camera. Address position taken. So as the pressure goes back, my sternum, my nose stays pretty centred to that cane. I'm not moving over here to apply the pressure because there's no time. When you're over here, you've got half a second to get back to impact or to get ahead of the golf ball. So you've got 4, 5, 6 tenths of a second to come from here past impact with the pressure to get into impact. There's not enough time. There's not enough time. So by controlling the pressure, if I just move my pressure to there, it's hard, isn't it? There. So I'm much more centred there. Then from this, you can see it's dying to go back there, as opposed to moving off. Then from there, I've got my half second to get there. Much more achievable. The beauty of that there was I didn't even have to hit golf balls to get the feeling of where the golf swing should be, or the feeling of where my mass should be within the golf swing. So it's, as I take the club back to maintain the pressure or to maintain centeredness to the golf ball, but get my pressures to move, I can really feel my hips starting to work. So more shoulder turn, more right hip, more right shoulder moving away to get that pressure down to the right and then through. As I apply the pressure down to the right, my trail side, the ground's push me back up and it wants me to go forwards. Thin. Okay, it's a very different move for me to get that pressure onto the right side, trail side, because of my EUREKA Golf Swing. Better. One thing with this though, we are sitting 2 or 3 inches above the level of the ground. Let's measure it. So we're 4 centimetres above ground. That's why I've thinned 3 shots. This is my first time on this. So if I was to do my EUREKA Golf Swing, maintaining my weight there and then get onto my left, I would be much happier. So I'm there. Okay, so that's more me there. But you can see when I do that, even though I'm not pressing down on this trail side, I'm on the left side, fully compressed left side before impact. I'm not fussed too much about getting onto the trail side. As long as I've compressed the lead side before the golf club makes contact with the golf ball, I'm in a good place. As long as this lead side is compressed before I make contact with the golf ball, I'm in a good place. There. There we go. So it just shows you that EUREKA Golf Swing. Okay, they're good strikes. Now I've got it compressed. When I move back onto my trail side, I wouldn't say I'm losing much power. I would say I turn better. So if I keep this evenly balanced, so if you think about it, evenly balanced is, as I'm going backwards and taking it back, I am steadying myself in there EUREKA style. So I'm there to get down, there to get down, there to get down. So that was good. It kind of dipped both ways there, so there was more movement. I could feel more legs working there. Good again. Wow. As I say, this is my first attempt on this board and really starting to feel it there. I think the fact that the ball is sitting 4 centimetres below my foot level, I've taken a little bit of adjusting to get in there. There is more, there's definitely more movement of the board now that I'm understanding it. But you can hear the strike. I mean, everything's purely compressed. Again, back to short game. If I'm keeping the weight there, starting with the weight there, maintaining that, that to me is, that's golf. Pure punch, pure compression. Let's go again. This time I'm going to try and go trail side, lead side, trail side, lead side. I really have to rock the boat first though. I find it quite hard from a stationary start. Oh, it was good. Quite hard from a stationary start just to get going. So certainly winding up first. Get yourself there and over here first and wind it up. So I see it as a great training aid. Hitting balls with it, fantastic. Hitting balls without it, better for me. Which is strange. So I feel as though I'm educating the body better without a golf ball. So I would suggest doing, 20 reps. 20 reps of getting onto the lead side. For me, 20 of those. And then drag a ball in and just hit one. And then more reps. So certainly loads more swings than there are hitting golf balls. So many people who practice just hit golf balls. That's not right. Get the feelings first. Get the feeling. Get the feeling. Do 100 swings to 5 balls struck. See how you get on. Okay, not sure that was the best demonstration, but it was my first attempt with the pressure plate. Why golf? It's all linked below for you. Get one. Discounts there. It'll improve your game, or it'll certainly give you a better understanding of how the body's supposed to move within the golf swing. And once you feel that weight transfer onto the left side, the lead side, before the golf club makes contact with the golf ball, you'll get ball turf strike. You will improve your ball striking with it. It's guaranteed. It has to. It's the way the golf swing works. It's physics. It's absolute physics. I'll see you in my next video.